Hi and welcome to Yoga with Charlie. Today we'll be flowing through some poses focusing on the hips and the hamstrings. And we will start in a child's pose on our mats. And before we get started, I invite you to bring a couple of blocks into your space. 2 books of the same size will also be perfect. So let's get started in a child's pose. So come on over to tabletop on an all fours position, and then begin to widen the knees, connect the big toes, send the hips back towards the heels, walk the hands out in front of you, melt the chest and forehead down. And start to arrive on your mat. Begin to notice the physical body. And begin to tune into your breath. And I invite you to begin with a few cleansing breaths. So breathing in through the nose, releasing through the nose or the mouth. A couple more of these. Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling. And exhale, release. And then slowly begin to have a little rock in the hips from side to side to see how the hips are feeling today. And then begin to lift the head, glorify the fingertips. So come up onto the pads of the fingers, start to walk the hands over to the left side of your mat. As you arrive, take an inhale. And as you exhale, fold down over the thigh. Option to keep the head lifted, or we can bring the head down to the ground or the block. And breathing into the right side body. One more breath. And then begin to lift the head, walk the hands back to center over to the other side. As you arrive, take an inhale. As you exhale, fold down over the leg. Couple of breaths. One more breath. And then begin to lift the head, walk the hands back to center. This time, plant the hands down, rock forwards into a tabletop pose. So take a moment to realign the knees and the toes. Starting with a few cat-cows. On your next inhale, begin to lower the belly down towards the mat. Lift the gaze, lift the heart and the tailbone. As you exhale, round through the shoulders, chin to chest, draw the tailbone under. Inhale as you lower the belly down, lift the gaze, lift the heart. Exhale, round through the shoulders, chin to chest. Inhale as you lower the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, round through the shoulders. We'll do one more. Inhale as you lower the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, round through the shoulders, chin to chest. And then start to bring the spine back into a neutral position in tabletop. And begin to draw the left knee towards the cord and step the left foot to the outer edge of the mat. Arch of the foot and the knee are roughly in line. Start to curl the toes of the right foot and then begin to invite in some pulses here. So pulsing forwards, the shoulders journey over the wrists, then bring the hips back towards the heels. And take a few more of these pulses in your own time. So moving as slowly or as fast as you need to. And begin to notice the sensation on the inside of the inner left thigh. As slowing your movement down, you might like to link this movement with your breath. Couple more pulses on this side. And then bring the body back to center. Start to draw the foot into your tabletop pose, and we'll bring it over to the other side. So start to extend the right leg out towards the side of your mat. The arch, the foot and the knee are in line. Shoulders are over the wrists. Start to curl the toes of the back foot, and then begin to invite in some pulses here. So drawing the shoulders over the wrists, hips journey back towards the heels. Couple of pulses on this side, noting the sensation on the inside of the inner right thigh. Couple more pulses. And then start to bring the body back to center in tabletop pose. Journeying into our downward dog now. Begin to curl the toes, send the hips back towards the heels, up towards the sky. And as you arrive in your downward dog, you might like to bring in some movement here. So maybe pedaling the legs, bending one knee, straightening the other, then swapping over. Maybe you'd like to take some peaks by taking some twists underneath your shoulder, warming up the side body. Then we'll take another breath wherever you are. And then start to come to stillness in your downward dog. Begin to ground down through your left foot. As you inhale, lift the right leg towards the sky, three-legged dog. Take a moment here, feel the stretch down the left hamstring. Breathe into the body. And then start to bend the right knee, open the hip out towards the ceiling. Breathing into the hip here. And then start to bring the knee through the midline of the body and plant the foot down in between the hands. Come into a low lunge. Lower the back knee, uncurl the toes. Rise the hands up above the head. Take a breath in when you arrive. And as you exhale, open the hands out to the right side. Draw the right shoulder towards the back edge of your mat. Gaze can follow if that feels good for the body. On your next inhale, rise the hands up above the head. Exhale, twist open to the left side, awkward side this time, drawing the left shoulder back. Good, inhale, rise the hands. Exhale, float the hands down to frame the front foot. Coming into a half split now. We can stay up on the fingertips or bring the hands to the blocks. This is a really lovely option. Hello, we've got a little visitor today. And we'll start to rock the body back until the front leg becomes straight. Toes point up towards the sky. When you arrive here, start to nudge your back knee towards the back edge of the mat. Option to stay lifted. This may be enough of a stretch for the hamstring. And this is the beauty of using the blocks. There's different options, different levels to find the stretch in the leg. Or you're welcome to bring the fingertips down to the ground, bend in the elbows and lower the body down over the hamstring. So find your variation here. And breathe into the body. Couple of breaths. And with every exhale, see if you can sink the chest a little bit further down. One more breath. And then begin to lift the head, curl the toes, the back foot, and then rock the body back until the front knee becomes bent again. Rise the hands up above the head, take a breath in. And as you exhale, float the hands down to frame the front foot. Plant the left hand down. As you inhale, lift the right arm up towards the sky. And as you exhale, send the gaze behind you with the hands. A little twist here. Now, option to bend the back knee and hold here, or we can grab the foot and start to draw the foot in towards the body. So finding that quad stretch. A little twist here. One more breath. And then start to release the grip. Bring the hand down to frame the front foot. Lift the back knee and step back into a plank pose. In our plank pose, lower the knees, uncurl the toes. We'll meet in a half plank. Take a breath in through the core, keep the hips lifted. As you exhale, bend the elbows, lower yourself down with control. Belly meets the mat, inhale, rise, baby cobra. Exhale, release down. We'll do this twice more. Plant the palms, inhale as you rise, elbows in towards the ribs. Exhale, release. Plant the palms, inhale as you lift. Exhale, release the body down. This time, plant the palms, inhale, rise. Hold on for a little moment, start to curl the toes, send the hips back towards the heels, then up towards the sky, downward dog. One breath here, finding movement or finding stillness. And then start to ground down through your right foot. As you inhale, lift the left leg, three-legged dog. Take a moment here. Feel the stretch down the right hamstring. And then begin to bend the left knee, open the hip out towards the sky. You're finding that hip opening. And breathing into the hip and the lower back. One more breath. And then start to bring the knee through the midline of the body and plant the foot down in between the hands. Low lunge on this side. Lower the back knee, uncurl the toes. Rise the hands up above the head. Take a breath in as you arrive. And as you exhale, open the hands out to the left side, finding a twist. Inhale, rise the hands up above the head. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, rise the hands. Exhale, float the hands down to frame the front foot. Option to use fingertips or the blocks to come into half split. Curl the toes, the back foot. Start to rock the body back until the front leg becomes straight. Toes point up towards the sky. Then nudge your back knee towards the back edge of the mat, so the back knee and hip are in line. And this may be enough. You might like to stay here, close the eyes, breathe into the hamstring. Or you might like to start bending the elbows and journey the chest down towards the leg. So wherever you are, start to send some big breaths into this hamstring. And with every exhale, see if you can soften down a little bit more. Try to release tension in the leg as much as you can. One more breath. And then begin to lift the head. Bring the body back into a low lunge position. Plant the blocks to one side. Rise the hands up above the head. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, float the hands down to frame the front foot. Plant the right hand down into the ground. As you inhale, lift the left arm up towards the sky. As you exhale, send the gaze behind you with the hand, a little twist here. Option to bend the back knee, maybe staying here, or we can see if we can hold on to the toes or the foot and then start to draw the foot in towards the body, finding a quad stretch. And then send the gaze behind you, opening the body out here into a little twist. Take a breath. And then release the grip. Bring the hand down to frame the front foot. Lift the back knee and step back into a plank pose. Option to lower the knees. Take a breath in through the core. As you exhale, bend the elbows, lower yourself down with controlled chaturanga. Inhale your back bend of choice, cobra or upward dog, maybe balancing on the tops of the feet for your upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Sit bones up towards the sky, biceps by the ears. 2 breaths. 1 more breath. And then begin to ground down through your left foot. As you inhale, lift the right leg towards the sky, 3-legged dog. Take a moment here. Then start to bend the knee, bring the knee through the body and plant the foot down in between the hands. Coming into a high lunge, stay up on the toes of the back foot, rise the hands up above the head. Bending into the front knee, not overshooting the ankle, then lengthen through the spine. Arms are nice and active. Breathing into the hips, breathe into the back hip flexor. Take another breath in. And then exhale. Then begin to step forward. So shorten the stance of the back foot. On your next inhale, push up through the front leg, 1-legged mountain, arms up above the head. On your next exhale, start to bring the hands down to heart center. Coming into a standing pigeon pose now. Begin to rotate the knees towards the outer edge of your mat. Invite the ankle to sit on the thigh of the other leg, and then begin to sit down into your standing pigeon. So you're bending into the rooted knee. Toes are active, pointing forwards. And hands come to heart center. Send the gaze forwards and down, bending into your rooted leg. Breathing into the lower body, breathing into the hips, the glutes, the thigh, the shin. Find your point of focus. And use your breath. One more breath here. And then start to push up through the leg, keep the knee lifted and step back into a high lunge. Rise the hands up above the head. Well done, take a breath in. As you exhale, bring the hands down onto the hips. Start to shorten the stance of the back leg. Coming into a pyramid pose now, toes, the back foot can point out slightly, heels are in line, straighten through the front leg, hands to hips. So take a breath in. And as you exhale, begin to hinge at the hips, fold forwards, have a little micro bend in the front knee. Option to stay lifted, or a really nice option is to bring hands down to some blocks or some books, either side of the front foot, playing around with the height here. Or you're welcome to bring fingertips down to the ground and draw the nose down towards the knee. So finding your variation here. Then on your next inhale, begin to lift the chest wherever you are. And as you exhale, fold down over the hamstring. Couple more of these. Inhale as you lift. Exhale, release. Inhale as you rise. Exhale, release down over the hamstring. This time, begin to lift the head. Walk the fingertips or the blocks in front of the front foot. Bend into the front knee, coming into a standing split. Lift the back leg off the mat. Draw the nose down towards the knee. Engage the glute. Lift the back leg. Breathing into the body. Take another breath in. And then start to bend in the front knee. Aim the toes to the back of the mat. Push up through the front thigh. Rise the hands up above the head. Strong push there. Take a breath in as you arrive. And as you exhale, float the hands down to frame the front foot. Step back into a plank pose. Option to lower the knees. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lower yourself down with controlled chaturanga. Inhale your back bend of choice, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Sit bones up towards the sky. Take a breath. We'll take one more breath here. And we'll repeat our sequence on the left side. So start to ground down through your right foot. As you inhale, lift the left towards the sky, three-legged dog. Start to bend the knee, bring the knee through the body and plant the foot down in between the hands. High lunge on this side, stay up on the toes of the back foot. Rise the hands up above the head. Take a breath in and an exhale. And then keep the hands up above the head. Start to shorten the stance of the back foot. Root down through the front foot. As you inhale, lift the back leg off the mat, one-legged mountain. Start to draw the hands to heart center. Take your time here. Find your balance. And then begin to rotate the knee out towards the outer edge of your mat. Invite the ankle to sit on the thigh of the other leg just above the knee. And then begin to sit down into your standing pigeon. So begin to bend in your rooted knee, lowering the body down towards the ground. And send the gaze forwards and down. Focus on your breath. Breathe into the lower body. One more breath. And then start to push up through your rooted leg, lift the knee and step back into a high lunge. Rise the hands up above the head, take a big breath in. And as you exhale, plant the hands down onto the hips. Start to shorten the stance of the back foot, heels are in line, straighten through the front leg. Coming into pyramid pose on this side. So on your next exhale, begin to hinge at the hips, fall down over the front hamstring. Option to stay lifted, bring hands down to the blocks or the ground. So find your position on this side. You may note that one side feels slightly different to the other. That's completely normal. And once you've found your position, start to draw awareness to your breath. And begin to send some big breaths into this hamstring. Then on your next inhale, begin to lift the chest wherever you are, lift the gaze. As you exhale, draw the chest down towards the thigh. Inhale as you lift. Exhale, release down. Inhale as you lift the body. Exhale, release. And then begin to lift the head. Walk the fingertips in front of the front foot, bend into the front knee, lift the back leg off the mat, standing split. Engage the glute, lift the leg. Draw the nose down towards the knee. Breathe into the body here. One more breath. And then start to bend into the front knee, aim the toes for the back of the mat. Big push up here through the thigh, rise the hands up above the head. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, float the hands down to frame the front foot. Step back into a plank pose. One breath in through the core. As you exhale, chaturanga, lower yourself down with control. Inhale, your back bend of choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. And as you arrive here, 3 breaths in your own time. Pedaling the legs, finding some twists. One more breath. And then begin to drop the knees down towards the mat, uncurl the toes, and we'll conclude our practice by how we started in our wide-legged child's pose. So begin to widen the knees, connect the big toes and the hips back towards the heels. Walk the hands out in front of you, mount the chest and forehead down. And then begin to bring your awareness back to the breath. And notice how the breath feels now after some movement. You may notice the quality of your breath now. And start to release tension in your child's pose. So begin to notice where you're holding tension in the body. And then begin to soften. Release the fingertips, the arms, the shoulders, the spine. And relax the hips. And as you do, maybe they journey down towards the ground a little bit more. We'll take one more breath. And then slowly begin to lift the head, walk the hands back towards the body. We'll start to draw the thighs in towards one another and we'll meet in a thunderbolt pose on the mat. So the thighs draw together, sitting down on the feet. You're welcome to come into a different seated pose if thunderbolt doesn't feel good for the knees. So finding a position that feels nice for you. And then bring the hands to heart center in Anjali Mudra. You might like to close the eyes down. As you tuck the chin, bow the head down towards the heart space. And take a moment for yourself here. And we'll take one last breath together, breathing in through the nose. Releasing through the nose or the mouth. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. I hope you really enjoyed this practice. Namaste.